I have managed to reduce my fabric stash by an amazing 25% so far this year. And if it's something that is on your mind that you want to try and do, then follow my 5-point plan and get your stash under control. So this is my stash. I'm Christine, the Gemini Stitcher, and we're in my sewing space. This is my dressmaking fabric stash as it is now. I've brought it all out as a sorting exercise, and I thought I'd share it with you and share how I've got my fabric stash down from just short of 80 fabrics to 56, which I am so chuffed about. That's so far this year. And I have a 5-point plan that I've worked out that works for me. And if you want to get your stash under control, give it a try. It's not difficult. Well, it is, because we love buying fabric, don't we? And I'm not saying I've stuck to it religiously, but by trying to stick to it, it's reduced my stash, and I am chuffed to bits. I had no idea whether it was going to work. I just thought, and I figured it out as I went along. I started trying to reduce my stash in January, and as I've already said, I counted up and I had just short of 80 dressmaking fabrics. So I'm down to 56, and I've still got 2 months of the year to go. Yeah, it might increase a little bit. We will see. But I'm feeling happy about being in control of my stash and not spiralling and building and more fabric and nothing coming out or being made. So what's my 5-point plan of action? Just let me get my notepad. I think point 1 is possibly the hardest part, particularly if you've got a large stash, because you need to get it all out and sorted. I know this doesn't look sorted, but it's in piles of different fabric types. And it's all out, and I've counted it as I've taken it out. So get all your fabric out. Sort them into garments, garment types or fabric types, whichever works for you, but count them as you go, and then you'll have your total starting point. It might be a bit scary, but get your big girl pants on and just do it. So that's the hardest part, I think. Actually owning up to how much fabric you've actually got. Once you've got them all piled up, then this is the fun bit, because you can go through them all and you will find fabrics that you'd forgotten you had and fall back in love with them and think, oh, I've got the perfect pattern for that. That's all part of the exercise. That's fine. That is what we're going to do. So you need to look at each fabric and ask yourself, how long have I had the fabric? Do I still love it? And be honest with yourself. You might love the fabric, but it might not love you, if that makes sense. Stand in front of a mirror with each fabric, put it up against you. Does the colour or the pattern design actually suit you? And be brutally honest with yourself. And then you need to ask, if it passes that test, then you need to ask yourself, what would you make with it? Is it a fabric that you haven't got a clue what you're going to make, but you absolutely love it? That does not mean it has to come out of your stash, but ask yourself those 3 questions and take out any that don't fit. So you will end up with a de-stash pile, hopefully. You should end up with a de-stash pile if you've been brutally honest with the 3 questions. And I certainly did. So what do you do? This is point 2, your de-stash pile. What do you do with it? Well, there are a lot of ways of getting rid of fabric, not just chucking them in the bin. I set up an Instagram de-stash page, easy to do if you're already on Instagram. Took photos of all the fabrics, priced them up, put them all on there, and sold quite a lot of fabric that way, to be honest, which then gives me money to buy more fabric that I love even more, doesn't it? You can also, and I've done this, I run a sewing social in Lancashire, and you can take your fabrics to the swaps table, or we also have a fabric sales table where people can bring them and price them up and try and sell them that way. And I've got rid of a few that way as well. You can do a charity sale. You could have a market stall. If you have a local rag market or one that's every so often, then you could have a stall there. If it's a craft market or a sewing market, I've done those. Not done very well with them, to be honest, but that doesn't mean it won't work in your area. And then the last one is to give it to a local sewing group or a charity that will use the fabric with this. Some that are for people with disabilities, people who are refugees who want to learn a skill, all that sort of thing. They will take your fabric with open arms. So they don't have to go to landfill, they don't have to go in the bin. De-stash them sensibly. So once you've got rid of your fabrics that you're going to de-stash, you've now got to count. So count how many you've actually got in your stash that you're keeping. And have a look just for yourself to see how many you're actually getting rid of. And that in itself can lift a weight off your shoulders, because too much fabric for me is just stressful. I like it to be manageable. So recount your fabrics, and that's your starting point for your challenge, if you like it. De-stash fabric challenge. Next, we're going to start making some plans. So I usually choose 10 fabrics that I absolutely love. The season that I'm in, or the season that I'm sewing for, and I've got patterns for. So find your pattern, match your patterns up with 10 fabrics and keep those in a separate pile. Don't put them away. Tidy everything up, put your fabrics away. Write down that number of fabrics, and then you'll know whether you're doing well as you go through the year or not. So work your way through those 10 fabrics if you can. I'm not saying don't buy fabric, and I'm not saying don't buy fabric and ignore the fabric in your pile of 10 fabrics, but it helps to focus your mind a little bit and try and work your way through those 10. Once you've worked your way through those 10, repeat it. Might be 5 at a time that you do. Bring them out, match them to patterns, redo the exercise to try and get you shopping your stash instead of keep buying new shiny fabric. Number 4, when you're buying patterns, because there's new patterns coming out all the time, and we're all guilty of liking the next shiny new pattern. Try, that's words there, keyword try, not you have to, but try to match that pattern to fabric that you have already got in your stash, rather than choosing the pattern, then going looking for fabric and not even looking at what you've already got. We're all guilty of doing that, but try not to. Look in your stash first. And if you still love the pattern, but you've no fabric that you can do it in, I'm not saying don't buy the pattern. Go and buy the fabric, buy the pattern, that's fine. But look in your stash first. And then number 5, this is a really difficult one for me. Try to buy less fabric than what you make up. You'll have heard me on some of my other vlogs talking about this, where I say, I've just bought 6 fabrics and I can't buy any more until I've at least sewn up 6 garments. Now, some people have pointed out to me, well, you might have fabric left. Yes, indeed, I might have fabric left, but I'm all right with that. I've made up the garment that I bought that fabric for. I put them back in my stash, and that's fine. If there's enough to make another garment, if there's scraps, that's another vlog to deal with because scraps can get out of hand as well. But today we're talking about how to control your main fabric stash or haul. And that's how I did it. That's how I'm doing it. That's how I'm managing my stash. And it is working because I started off with 80 fabrics and I'm now down to 56. So what does that work out at? 24 fabrics that I've got rid of. Now I know I've reduced my stash by 24 fabrics. I know I didn't de-stash 24 fabrics. That's a good way of doing it, but it's not sustainable, is it? Because you're not going to always want to de-stash fabrics. Now, to keep this under control, I go through this process once a quarter. So every season, so spring, summer, autumn, winter, when you think, right, I'm starting doing that season's sewing, before you start, get all your fabrics out, go through this again, and it will work and it'll keep your stash current. You won't have fabric in there that you've had for 20 odd years and you're never ever going to use. It will be fabric that's current for the current fashion, etc. And if you don't want to hoard fabric like me, then this system is a good one to follow. So these are all my fabrics. Now, you will know that I recently went down to Abercarnes on my way down to Anglesey with the lovely Steph. And yes, we did buy some fabrics. They're not on this pile, but they are included in the 56. So let's grab my Abercarn bag. Here it is. This is what I bought at Abercarnes. And it's going to get added into my stash when I put it all away. I bought 6 fabrics, and if you want to know what they are, then stick around. Here we are at Abercarnes. I've been here not even 5 minutes, and I've got this. Oh, it's polar fleece. There's 1.5 meters, and it's going to be a jacket. And I found something else. Look at this. 70% off. I don't need any more coats, but I'm having it. We've got here. Yes, we went to Abercarnes, didn't we,
We
Steph?
went to Fabric, we can't resist.
And Steph was just going in and buying a zip.
Didn't tails. What's it all? We've come away with the intention of working on 4 specific patterns. I only had fabric for one of those patterns, so I needed to get at least 2 more lengths of fabric for said specific pattern.
Yeah, we've both failed. Like you all knew that we would. But hey, it's okay. There's worse things we can spend our money on.
I'm wondering how much a bottle of whiskey costs these days, and a pack of 200 fags. Exactly. And we reckon we're broke even, so.
And it's going to give us more pleasure and last a lot longer.
Yeah, right.
And that's all we're saying. Am I going first?
Yeah.
Can't wait to show you this. It is animal print in green, olive green.
It is proper so
it is OMG. I got 2 meters of this. Gonna make a coat. Don't know what coat. Don't care. And it was £6 a meter in the sale. So I got that, and then if I can find it, I then treated myself to this to use as the lining. This was £9 a metre. Cost more than the fabric for the outside. But yeah, that's my two indulgences that I wasn't meant to be buying. What you got,
What
Steph?
was my indulgence?
All of it. That would be hard for you. No, let's not bother. We've got here. Yes, we went to Abercards, didn't we,
We
Steph?
went to Fabric. We can't resist.
And Steph was just going in and buying a zip.
Didn't tails. What's it all? We've come away with the intention of working on 4 specific patterns. I only had fabric for one of those patterns, so I needed to get at least 2 more lengths of fabric for said specific pattern.
Yeah, we've both failed. Like you all knew that we would. But hey, it's okay. There's worse things we can spend our money on.
I'm wondering how much a bottle of whiskey costs these days, and a pack of 200 fags.
Exactly.
And we reckon we're broke even, so.
And these is going to give us more pleasure and last a heck of a lot longer.
Yeah, right.
And that's all we're saying. So we're going to do a quick run through of the fabric as our little intro to our come to us with come to Anglesey with us for a week. Am I going first?
Yeah.
Can't wait to show you this. It is animal print in green, olive green.
It is proper so
It is OMG. I got 2 meters of this. Gonna make a coat. Don't know what coat. Don't care. And it was £6 a meter in the sale. So I got that, and then if I can find it, I then treated myself to this to use as the lining. This was £9 a metre. Cost more than the fabric for the outside. But yeah, that's my 2 indulgences that I wasn't meant to be buying. What you got,
What
Steph?
was my indulgence?
All of it.
Yeah, actually. The first, when you go in Abercards upstairs and the first thing that hits you are these wire baskets full of fabric. The first thing I spotted, I fell in love with. And I said, we said, didn't we? Like, we've literally just got
5
to the top of the
seconds from
stairs.
there.
And it's this linen mix.
It is beautiful.
And it's just it wasn't this one. No,
it's
tell
the
a lie. It was this one. Shall I start that again?
Yeah, I'll cut that out. Don't worry.
So this was this beautiful linen mix, navy and stone colour, I think. Taupe.
Yeah, it is nice.
And it's quite a substantial weight.
How much fit is there?
3 meters.
Sky's the limit on what you can make with that then.
But I thought, after we'd been around the rest of the shop, I said to Christine, I want to get some of the plain background colour if I can. So to this detail in the garment that we're making, I can add.
Yeah, you can add a bit of the plain in.
So I found that, and it doesn't look a good match in this light actually, but it's not a bad match.
Not actually that bad in reality. Yeah. It's quite a good match.
So it's just a plain linen mix.
Yeah, perfect.
But when I went back to find this, I then found this. And this is now good. It's not, I'm not meant to be sewing for winter, but I'm going to Santorini for my daughter's 40th birthday next year. And I just thought this would make some lovely classy dresses to wear.
Or wide leg trousers.
Yeah. Well, combos of whatever.
Yeah.
So
a collard, a little top and some wide leg pants.
So this is my Santorini wardrobe coming along nicely.
No, because I'm not
buying
not
coming to Santorini.
No, I'm not coming to Santorini. You're right there. That's why I didn't get any. I'll stick with my winter wardrobe. So the next thing that I got 4. I went a bit mad with this one, and I bought 4 meters of it. It's a jersey, really, isn't it?
Yeah.
Is it a jersey? It's a bit woolly
it's
as well.
Like a knit.
Yeah. It's a knit. Very stretchy. Look at that. And
It's a marl.
yes,
A marl.
it was £4 a metre. So I got 4 metres of it.
Was that the one with the 70% off?
Yeah, 70% off.
So it'd have been a substantial
Whatever
amount.
it was.
Okay.
Work that out, my maths won't work. But yeah, so I'm going to make a dress, I'm going to make a top, I'm going to make a cardigan, all out of that. We will see. Am I being ambitious with 4 metres? I'll make it work. What's your next one, honey?
Right. Needle cord, which was what I was after for one of these specific patterns we're going to be making. And I found this really pretty floral needle cord.
So nice.
And it has a little burgundy and yellow flowers in it. So I found this burgundy needle cord
to match in with it.
Go in with it to highlight it.
It's not doing it justice on there.
It doesn't.
They are a really
well, we're in.
match.
It's time of year. We've not been here long.
Yeah, it's
the
nearly 5 o'clock.
So we can't
the light's
electric
going.
light.
We've got electric. We've got a ring light on. So all that is distorting the colours of the fabrics. But if we don't do it now, we won't do this part of the vlog.
No, we won't because I'll be cutting it out.
Because Steph wants to cut out this evening. Right, what do I look at next? I got.
Oh, we're saving them.
This was on my list. I wanted fleece. I got it, but I've not got it anymore.
That's another story.
So I've got the fur instead. That's okay. And the other thing that was on my list was needle cord. Look at that. I think I like this on the camera more than in real life. Weird. It's a lot brighter.
It does look brighter on there.
Yeah. Really nice.
Quite muted tones, really.
So I got 2 meters of that. And then I got a meter of some mauve. Mauve?
Yeah.
It is a needle cord, but it's got it's got a little bit of stretch to it, and it's got a wider rib on it.
The colour goes really so well, and the pattern we have earmarked for it will work perfectly with that. Yeah, I changed my mind, haven't I, on what I'm doing with it, but we'll tell you more about that later. So they were on my list, so I'm not doing too bad. Christine's fleece that was on her list, she spotted it again as soon as we got to the top of the stairs, and I was so jealous because it was the most beautiful piece of fleece on the whole thing, and they didn't have any more, and I was sulking.
She was really sulking.
Yeah, I was. And she said, "Well, what about this one?"
No, I really. I seriously wound her up with this one.
Right up until
this fleece is not my colours, is it, Steph?
No. And I was practically in tears because I wanted it so badly. She'd just given it to me.
And I said, "There you go, Steph, enjoy." Look. Because Steph's doing is doing all the driving this week, so it's my little thank you to Steph.
I'll drive every time if you buy me a piece of fabric like this.
How beautiful it is!
Isn't it? Just gorgeous.
It's definitely.
Well, I think it is.
I love it. It's just not.
And the weird thing was, I got some knit. What is this? I got.
It is a knit fabric.
It's a knit fabric.
It's beautiful.
And it actually. And this was before I knew that she was giving me this. And it's like, oh, that's another little cord. So I'm not sure how I'm going to put them together.
Jacket.
No, I've done too many jackets. It's not going to be a jacket.
Is it not? Toaster?
No, it's not going to be a jacket.
All right. Well, watch this space.
I don't know what it's going to be yet.
Right. So, okay.
Yeah, happy with that.
Yeah. So we've not gone totally mad. We felt like we had at the time.
I have.
No, you've not. You've not.
Well, because I haven't finished. You've only got one more to show.
All right. Have you?
I've got another one. I have 2 more to show before we get to the last one.
All right. Well, I'll sit back and watch the Steph show now then.
Right. The Steph show. Right.
Let's talk Steph.
Needle cord. Which was one of the things I particularly went for because...
Yeah, we both did, didn't we?
Really? We wanted needle cord for this particular pattern. And I said, I've got a metre of moss green left from another project. So I want some that I can contrast with it. And I had in head like a mustard colour that would go with the moss green. But then the first one I saw was this lovely soft pink.
It's beautiful. Now this was out of the bins, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
So it's even cheaper where they weigh it. So.
And it's such nice quality.
It is beautiful.
So the idea originally
Very strokeable.
was to team it with the moss green, which I still might do, but I'm actually thinking, I think it's too contrasty.
Oh dear. Oh, okay.
Might be.
All
so
right.
I might just make it just out of this because I just think it's lovely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah.
I can.
So that was that, and then a random. I'd seen this fabric last time we went to Outcast, and I kept.
Yeah, because we were there about a month ago.
Yeah.
We've not sewn up all the stuff we got.
No, I probably never will. But
I have used a few of mine.
I have.
Yeah. We've done a few, but not all of them.
Now this is not showing up the right colour on there.
No, it's not
at all. It's teal.
Yeah.
And it has a little sparkle in it.
Yeah,
it's a knit. It's quite a fine knit. But this was what was it, £4 a metre? This it was reduced, wasn't it? And I just thought, I'll have a couple of metres.
Why
to make a nice little top. I'd rather have thinner, multiple layers
and layer up than one big thick layer.
Yeah. And that's just so pretty.
Yeah, it is. It is.
So that was in there. And then we both purchased.
Well, Steph found this fabric and I copied.
Well, that makes a change because it's usually me copying you, to be fair.
We're both as bad as each other, to be honest.
We do like the same things a lot of the time, don't we?
And this is what we got. Oh! Now, what do we think?
We're not really sure. We should have asked her exactly what it was.
Yeah, but we were so excited we didn't care. It's that on the back and that on the front. You could do something that's two-tone with this, couldn't you?
It reminds me of boiled wool, the look of it, but it's not as thick.
Bubbly on the back, isn't it?
Yeah, but that's what boiled wool looks like on the back, isn't it? But it's finer. It's light. Looking close up, it's almost like a very fine boucle.
Like a waterfall cardigan jacket.
Could do. I don't think I want to see the inside though.
No, it's a bit.
Yeah, I'm not keen on that.
A bit messy on the inside, which is a shame because I'm looking at this in the camera and thinking that looks really nice like that.
It does from a distance, not close up. It doesn't.
That's the side.
Yeah.
That you're supposed to use. Have you got any ideas for yours?
Yeah.
Oh. And it's a secret of.
No, it's one of our patterns.
One of the patterns for this week.
Yeah.
Right, I'm not sure what I'm doing with mine yet. Time will tell.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm doing it.
I got a couple of metres. What did you get?
2.5, I think.
All right. Yeah, so that's our fabrics. So there we go. Lots of yummy fabric to add to my stash, and Steph got some gorgeous ones as well, didn't she? I no longer feel guilty about buying fabrics because I feel like I've got my stash under control and I don't get agitated. I don't come home and think, oh my God, where am I going to put all this now? It's fine. Make room for it. Carry on. Don't worry about it. Buy the fabrics you want. Work the system. And it'll never reduce by a lot more, I don't think. I'm happy with the quantity that I've got in my staff. You need choices. You don't want to only have 5 fabrics to choose from, or even 10. That'd be boring to me. I love rummaging through my stash and finding something. And I enjoy doing this quarterly sort out because it reminds me of what I've actually got in there that gets buried at the bottom of one of my drawers. I'll finish by telling you what I'm wearing. This is the Casa dress from the new So Different collection. And I've done it in a needle cord spotty two-tone from Abercorns that I bought the last time we were there. It's a beautiful dress and it's got buttons up the back and I've done the placket in the cream. And it's so comfy. And it's got 3 mahoosive pockets in the front, which I love. And yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. If you want to find out more, I'll bob the link up there for the So Different Sewing Challenge that Steph and I did last week, and it went up on Monday. So go and give that a watch because there isn't just this dress, there's dungarees and there's a beautiful pinafore dress as well. So I loved all three of them and I want to make more of them, and I've definitely got fabrics in my stash that I'm going to use to make them. So winner, winner. Hope you've enjoyed. I hope it's given you the inspiration to actually be brave and pull all your fabrics out and start sorting them and start counting them and de-stash any that you are not going to use, because it will give you money to spend when you go fabric shopping again and feel a little bit less guilty maybe, or buy more fabric. Take care and I will see you next Monday. Bye. And I found something else. Look at this. 70% off. I don't need any more coats, but I'm having it.